question, though, is will these problems be solved by simply reducing the number of counties? That is what my guest tonight will attempt to answer. Joe Mutambu, Member of Parliament, Mwingi Central, thank you very much for joining us. You have made these proposals in a bill that will be tabled to Parliament when it reopens. What precipitated this?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, when you look at our country today, you have to ask yourself one question. Do you really love this country? And if you do love this country, you have to go to the metrics of how much are we collecting per year in this country, and how much are we paying out every year from this country. It is a simple logic. I don't know how you think about it, but I look at it from God's perspective of view. When God created you, he said there's an inlet and outlet. And when you look at your outlet, is bigger than inlet. I mean, your inlet is bigger than your outlet. You cannot have a tank. You are filling that tank with water with a 2-inch pipe, and you are taking out with the 10-inch pipe. Simple as that. And that is the logic.
So the counties are costing the taxpayer a lot of money.
A lot of money, more than what we are collecting. Today, Sarah said something, which actually I support her. She said the wage bill is too high. When do you want to listen to this expert talking? When somebody tells you this is unmanageable, what other language do you want to listen? Okay. So when we say that we have 47 counties in this country, what that translates to, each county has more than 11 or 12 ministers, 11 out of PSs, 11 out of senior members of that county. When you translate that to their salaries of about 300,000, 400,000 per person, that translates to more than $1 billion per year.
All right, let's talk about some of the comments that have been made regarding this, and you've seen that in the story we just ran. Senate Majority Leader Kithure Kindiki says this is diversionary. Jubilee will not support it. Murkomen, who's the chair of the Senate Committee on Devolution, says this is premature, that perhaps we should give this some time. Atsango Chisoni, who is also the vice chair of the Committee of Experts, has said this is selfish, although you have support from James Orengo, who's the CIA senator.
Let me not thank James, because I know James is a brave man, and you know what he's talking about. And when you say something which makes sense, any sensible person will see it. Anybody who will oppose this, they will be doing it for their own interest,
so
but not for the interest of the country.
Do you believe then you will have the right numbers? Because when you hear the statement that Jubilee will not support it, Jubilee has a majority in the National Assembly.
I respect Senator Kindiki. Yes. I respect him. And if he feels that the Jubilee will not support, I will guarantee you it is not all Jubilee who will not support it. I will rally my members of Parliament to support, and if they don't, let me tell you this. One thing I know, Kenyans, where they are, those who are suffering, today they support this bill.
All right, let's talk about what this will mean for the Senate. Obviously, 47 counties, 47 senators, plus the others who are nominated. What do you propose to do with the other senators? You want to reduce the number of counties from 47 to 9, and they were duly elected.
First and foremost, before we even, we are not saying that reduce, these numbers and send these people home tomorrow. No, there must be a time frame. I'm not saying that we are doing it within this current parliament.
What's the plan then?
In my proposal, I'm proposing once the bill passes through, at least 4 to 5 years. At least 4
Which is the same 3 years that many are saying we should give time for these 47 counties to perhaps live up to their...
This thing is dangerous. It's more dangerous than AIDS. And the moment you discover you have AIDS is the time to take your pills. Okay? When we are not talking about AIDS before, people used to die. Today, we can see these things are manageable. You cannot manage them. And the people are still sticking and complaining that we need to give this thing time. What time do you need?
Mheshimiwa, when we talk about numbers, it's not only of the counties, but we've also seen a rise in numbers of the members of National Assembly. We had 222 before. We have 349 now. Many people are asking on social media and also on our SMS feed, why not have a proposal to reduce the number of constituencies as well?
The thing is, people are making noise and they are complaining without reading the bill. What I would ask them to do is first to wait, read, understand it, understand my points, then argue. They are just arguing blatantly.
Is the proposal to reduce constituencies in your bill?
In that bill, there's a proposal to reduce members of parliament, actually to 180.
So from 349 to 180 members of National Assembly.
What we are going through today, this country is suffering because of trying to fulfill constitutional requirement. It is a constitutional requirement to have 47 women in parliament. But ask yourself, what do they do? It is a constitutional requirement.
So you want to reduce the number of women representatives
because
as
the
well?
moment you reduce the counties, you reduce everything. You reduce the senators, you reduce governors.
But you just said, Mheshimiwa, that it does not necessarily mean that they will go home. If this is over the next 4 to 5 years, what are some of the proposals you put in place towards reducing those numbers? And of course, there's people who've been elected.
Good question. And the answer is read the bill. It will tell you everything.
But we're here with you now, so if you can give us some snippets of the bill.
People are jumping the gun. People are saying, no, you cannot talk about this, you cannot do this today. It is the right time. Once you have realized you have lost the way, don't drive up to 1,000 kilometers, then you come back. Turn immediately, correct that, and move forward. Okay. Remember when we were talking about this constitution, people used to say 20% is bad. On my opinion, it is the other way around. 80% is not good, 20% is good. So we have to correct it today, not tomorrow.
Okay. There's a section 188 of the Constitution that talks about the procedure of changing the boundaries of counties that we have now. And amongst many of the other things that they ask to be taken into consideration is the views of the communities to be affected. Have you sought the views of various Kenyans? Is this something that you are getting from the communities that say we want the number of counties reduced?
I need you to understand one thing. I will follow the law. I will follow the constitution. You know, people think when you bring the bill or when you bring a motion or anything in the parliament, we are saying do it now. We will follow the procedure, the laid down procedure to change the constitution to the point of demanding a referendum. It is not something we are going to do tomorrow in the parliament and say we have changed. You know, I don't know what is wrong with the Kenyans. Once they hear members of parliament, mind goes off. We are not saying that we are going to do it tomorrow in the parliament. We are going to follow the procedure.
So the commission that should be set up specifically for this process will be set up in the bill that you're proposing?
We will follow the process to the latter. We will not skip or go outside one step. We will follow the constitution of Kenya, the requirement of changing any article in this constitution.
All right. What happens if, and it says you must take in account the views of the communities that will be affected. What happens if you go out and you seek the support of the people and you seek their views rather, and they say we are happy with the 47 counties? What will you do then?
I guarantee you have done my groundwork. Nobody will say they are happy with this. Ask those people who are paying taxes for the chicken. They will tell you. Nobody today would say no to this proposal. The only people who can say no to this proposal are us who are sitting on this seats. The people who are getting salary, the people who are getting money out of these counties, those are the people who will oppose it. But the common mwananchi, that doctor who is going without pay, that teacher who is going with very little pay, that soldier, that police officer who is going with very little money, and all the jug of money is going to pay ministers who actually, and I will ask this question, and forgive me, I'll use my own county as an example. Tell me the reason of having a minister for tourism in Kitui. Do they raise that money to pay themselves first? No, they will beg from the central government.
And in your county was where we had the members of county assembly going to Israel for an 8-day trip?
Those are the things now we are talking about. Every county has taken... Okay, honestly, I'm not opposing any trip outside because I know it is an educational trip. I have no problem with that.
And Israel would be a good place for Kitui to learn from. So, when it comes to farming in arid areas.
Exactly. I have no problem with that. But my problem is this. Having a minister with PS, with all his staff, with procurement officer.
You don't believe that Kitui has some tourism potential?
Tell me where. And if there is, tell me how much do we generate from that department? Can we sustain this ministry? If we cannot, the reason why I'm saying we have to merge Makueni, merge Machakos, merge even Meru, then those small places, you see how the income from those places, maybe they can sustain a minister. Because the idea of the county is to sustain itself. And another thing, I don't agree. There's nothing like a county in anywhere in the world. Call them states, 10 states of Kenya, I will agree. Call them any other name. But the counties, county government, imagine having 48 presidents in this country. This is what we are trying to do. And furthermore, these 47 countries, what we are trying to do, we are promoting what I'm calling, what they call, not political cocoon, but ethnical cocoons.
Okay, but we even with the nine, do you think you'll be able to remove the balkanization, as it were, of states? Do you believe that? And 9, maybe people are saying you're returning this country to centralized system of government.
It depends on how you think about it. Because the one thing we need to understand, I will give an example of California, okay? How many square kilometers is California? It's bigger than Kenya, 12 times. They have only one senator, one governor. That state, the whole of it. Go to Sudan, our neighbors here. They have states, and it's a very big country. They have very few, and they are manageable. But the moment you create so many, it is a good idea to devolve the functions. But how are we going to do it? If today you get married, you don't start with 100 children or 10 children. You start with 1, go 2, go 3. We have to start from low, going up. It is not from up, and then now we cannot manage. Okay. Today, let me tell you something. Believe it or not, we members of parliament, today we have workers, our subordinate staff, who are employed by a Parliamentary Service Commission. Up to today, 6 months, they have not gotten their salary. And there's no money. What are we expecting?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that and for making the time to be with us. We wish you all the best, and we will definitely be watching to see how this bill will progress once Parliament reconvenes next month. Thanks for making the time. We've been speaking to Joe Mutambu, who is the Member of Parliament for Mwingi Central, on his bill that proposes to cut down the number of counties from 47 to 9. All will be revealed next month when that is tabled before the House. And I will sample some of your views on his proposal as we carry on with the bulletin.